Hi, Scott. It's Alex here. I'm going to interview for you for the Feldenkrais newsletter, and you're going to give a short Feldenkrais ATM. Scott, so
Great.
you run the London Feldenkrais training, and you're going to have a new training in July?
Yes, that's true. It'll be our fourth training, the fifth London training.
Thank you. What brought you to Feldenkrais, Scott?
Well, I was trying to learn how to dance. I was finishing a mathematics degree. I was a bit of a late beginner at dance, and everybody around me seemed to be able to learn so much faster than I could. So I was looking for ways to learn faster.
Wow. And what's your favorite thing about Feldenkrais?
I think my favorite thing is you can apply it or adapt it to so many different situations, so many different things that you might want to do in life. And dance was what started me. Later on, I was a late beginner at music, and that helped a lot. Uh, but even trivial, maybe this is trivial, maybe not, but I always get nervous at passport control. And that
Oh,
feeling of how do you deal with things like nerves and anxiety? Feldenkrais is useful for all of these.
I mean, that's a huge one for all of us, I think. How do we deal with these very difficult situations that
Do you get
um
nervous at passport control?
no, but I've got so many difficult situations
Yeah,
to deal with,
we
like
all have
all
our
of us. So I
moments.
mean, I think that's something to be able to calm down, right? I mean, so many people, that's what they've spoken about, how it really grounds them and just gives them the tools you need for life, or
Exactly.
for me anyway.
Exactly.
And a favorite case study?
Well, I've been teaching a long time now, so I've seen quite a few different situations by now. Um, I'm thinking of, well, it's very thoroughly changed my own life, but maybe my own life doesn't exactly count. I think of a young man that I worked with who had a stroke in his early 30s, and he lost a lot of his speech. It wasn't directly a problem with his mouth or with the parts of him that produce speech. It was actually the part of his brain that made sense of words. And Feldenkrais was very useful to him to learning to speak again. Or a young dancer working out ways to fit her rather differently shaped body into the one size fits all technique that dance offers, or a 94-year-old dealing with the inevitable consequences of old age.
Wow, I think you do count, Scott, and those are all
Oh,
very
right. Thank
transformational.
you.
You're so lucky to have transformed so many, right?
Helped. Helped. Yeah,
And could you give me a mini Feldenkrais lesson, please?
sure. So I'm assuming that you're sitting somewhere and that it's a reasonable place to sit on. If you could sit at the front edge of your sitting implement so that your feet can be flat on the floor. And a couple of times, bring both of your shoulders forward and feel how your chest narrows in front and widens in back a little bit. And then do the opposite. Take both of your shoulders backward, and the opposite thing happens. The front of your chest widens, the back of your chest narrows. Now touch your collarbones with one hand, right at the top where the two bones join onto your breastbone. And very gently do that movement of the shoulders going forward or back. And you can feel the change there as the collarbones swing forward or swing backward. Good. Now rest your hands lightly on your knees or your thighs, wherever they reach easily, with, with straight elbows, or long elbows, I should say. And very gently move your chest forward and backward, but use that contact of your arms so that your shoulders don't move. How can you move your chest forward and that leaves your shoulders behind? Or move your chest backward and that leaves your shoulders in front a little bit. So it's kind of the same movement, and yet it's really different. Soften your arms, put your hands somewhere else, and go back to the first movement of the shoulders both going forward or both going backward. And then put just one arm, the hand resting on your thigh or your knee, elbow straight, and move your chest forward and back. So now that you feel the chest moving and that one shoulder gets caught forward or backward. Put your other hand on the top of your breastbone and feel the breastbone essentially going forward and backward as the shoulder stays still. You could turn your chest, but I'm really thinking, how can the chest move forward, backward, without turning? And then you get that sliding between the shoulder and the chest. Try that with your other arm. We're almost out of our 5-minute time, but just to feel how different the other arm might be as the chest comes forward and back. And then soften both your arms very, very gently. Go back to simply moving the shoulders. So we've looked at two different ways to move the shoulders relative to the chest, or the chest relative to the shoulders. It's no big deal, except that they'll always be a little bit different. They'll always feel a little bit different. And maybe we can use that feeling to wake ourselves up to a fresh sensation of the chest, the shoulders, the breathing. So there you go.
Amazing. That's incredible. Thank you so much for making me feel better
It's a
today,
pleasure.
and hopefully many other people. Thank you, Scott.
Great. Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.